Hello everybody, welcome to another Arkham Horror the card game list video. Today, Travis, Bryn, and myself are going to be talking about our top 5 player card designs. So these aren't necessarily our favorite cards or the most powerful cards, but rather the designs that make us go, oh, I like that. Let's just dive right in and start with everyone's number 5. Bryn, why don't you go first? What's yours?
Alright, we got Tempt Fate. Yeah, just so the thing I love about this card is that you can get away with playing it in your deck by saying that it's a free cantrip until you stop and think about it. And you're like, hold on, every time we try a test, we're trying it at least even, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the blessed tokens don't do anything. So you're actually like kind of griefing your team's chances of succeeding tests. But it doesn't look like it.
The odds of drawing the blessed token are just as much as drawing the curse token, so you're just as likely to draw like a curse token and a blessed token as you are one or the other.
Yeah.
That's not how math works.
Or like one or the other, but like because you have to draw another token after.
No, what you do is you play it, and then someone makes a test, draws a single curse token, and now you're like, see, now I made it easier for everybody. There's 3 blessed tokens and 2 curse tokens.
Yeah. Anyway, that's like the part I love about this one. It's like the hidden griefing component.
Yeah.
Where nobody really sees. Well, maybe they do. Maybe your friends are good at math. I don't know. But
I still think that card's pretty close to even.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so like the downside to it is that drawing the blessed token is, I guess, like it's like putting more zeros in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like not a terrible thing.
It's also like because you have to draw another one, so like it mitigates you drawing. So if you're up one on, or if you're neutral on a test, and then you draw a blessed one that's +2, and then you draw a -2 token, then like you're even and you pass anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I think this card just is exactly what Bryn says. It's just a cantrip.
Pretty close. Like there just are more scenarios where you'll draw the curse token and fail because of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then there are scenarios where you can draw the blessed token and win because of it.
The curse token is definitely, as we can see from our run that is actually going up first episode tomorrow, we have some curse token interaction finally, and they can be pretty, if there's a constant stream of them going in, it can be pretty bad. But it also, the thing that excites me most about this card is that we're going to see Bryn play this card, draw 3 blessed tokens, and then the auto fail. Like,
oh man. I'm just hoping that one time I play this card, draw all 6 of the tokens, and then fail.
I think the best thing about Tempt Fate, though,
crossed.
is that this is such a good and important design to ensure that decks that want to play with cursed or blessed tokens will work. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit salty though. I included 2 copies of it. I kind of wish they'd given us 4.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
Like one person can play a curse deck with it, and one person can play a blessed deck with it.
Yeah.
And one person can play a both deck with it.
Yeah,
one
let's
person
do
can
it.
play a paradoxical covenant deck and just like, woo!
I'm excited for our run when we can be in person and we play we do that 1 curse, 1 bless, and then I'll sit in the middle. Seems like a great time.
We'll show up early on Wednesday and we'll just actually play the entire campaign in one day.
Wow, I can't wait to play the Innsmouth Conspiracy. Holy hell. If people are wondering why we haven't played the Tabletop Simulator version, it's because I hate playing on Tabletop Simulator and we're only doing it because we still want to make content, right? So
It is better than not playing the game.
Exactly, yeah. But
this is true.
I don't want to experience...
But it is worse than playing with the paper cards.
I don't want to experience new content on Tabletop Simulator. My number 5 is Nightmare Bauble. Apart from being super sick, I love things that kind of change the game, especially as we get to some of my later things too, or like take a bad thing, turn them into a good thing. This one, anytime you can say no to the auto-fail chit, that's a super sick time. You're like, screw you, game. I'm in charge here. And then I like the mechanic. I think the thing I like most about the bonded cards mechanic is in stuff like Summoned Hound, where they're negative cards. I think like it's a little bit more exciting and flavorful, where you have this nice, strong starting card that's going to bite you in the butt every time you use it. It really feels like you're using a cursed item when you play it. I haven't had a chance to play with Nightmare Bauble yet, but this card, I feel it in my hand, and I'm like, this is Justin, this is what he likes to do. Travis, what's your number 5?
I have selected Shotgun. I like this design because I feel like it's an incredibly faithful representation of the shotgun in the previous Arkham Files games.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, in second edition at least, and also
Eldritch
Horror.
Yeah.
You have to roll dice to figure out if you succeed or not, and 5s or 6s are successes. And the shotgun deals 2 extra points for each 6 you roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it cancels the success if you roll a 1.
No, that's like the blunderbuss, which is like the trash shotgun.
Oh, the garbage one. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the
and this
regular
one
shotgun just makes you good.
Yeah, so it's like the harder you succeed, then the more damage you do, and that's exactly what this is. The harder you succeed, the more damage you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember when we first started playing this game, we looked at shotgun, and I'm like, yeah, this is a shotgun.
Yeah, it fits so well with everything else, all the previous Arkham Files designs. I agree.
It's different, but it's the same. It's the same thing.
Yep. And just being able to shoot someone and hit your friend for 5 damage, oh baby, seems like a good time. Bryn, what is your number 4?
We got the gold pocket watch. So the thing I like about this one is just like, so again, it's like sort of hidden griefing potential. Like, you could skip a phase that your teammates wanted to play through, or like repeat something that they thought was wrong. Like you can make it real obvious and just be like, Mythos again, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, we love the gold pocket watch here. It showed up in a lot of videos.
Yeah. It is also just like, this card is sweet.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
There are so many decisions you get to make with it, and most of them are wrong. Yeah. No, I'm good.
Cool. My number 4 is
choices.
The skeleton key. The flavor on this card is pretty incredible, and I just like that it's in green, so like actions are easy to come by, but like having to actually like take an action to put it into the keyhole that exists in time and space and turn to set the shroud to 1, and then you have to unturn it and pull it out to return it to normal and return it back to your control, is so cool. Like, it's sick flavor. The only thing I wish that it also had is one thing Bryn wanted, where if it's still in play at the end of the game, you lose it. I just think that would be funny. And it makes sense, because you left your key in the cosmic keyhole. It just doesn't go back to your pocket.
But, like, maybe it wouldn't be exceptional in that case.
Yes, yeah.
Like, or it would only cost 1 XP, so it would be, like, a little...
Yeah.
Little cheaper to rebuy.
It's got to be exceptional. It's the skeleton key.
No, that's what I'm thinking. Like, there is only one.
Travis, what's your number 4?
Was this a green card on Travis's list? So I chose High Roller, and I actually just really... This might be my favorite green card, but I really appreciate how many things it interacts with and in neat ways. So like and how many archetypes it supports and works with. So like it's just, you have to have 3 resources, and then as long as you have 3 resources, once per turn, you get +2 skill value for that skill test. So it's like those 3 resources are kind of spent because you need them to activate your High Roller. Otherwise, you spend experience and money doing nothing, but you still have them. Mm-hmm. You can use them for other things. And, you know, it gives you +2 skill value, which is conveniently the most common number on your succeed by cards for green archetypes. And then because you get to sit on the money and you don't have to like really spend it, it works for a lot of the the big money archetypes,
Mm-hmm.
those decks, and some more niche stuff that it can do. You can use it to bring yourself, if you have exactly 3 resources, you can use it to get the extra damage of a Fire Axe or a Mariner's Compass or extra stats from your Dark Horse if
Yeah,
you
I
need
can
it.
tell Travis has been working on these archetype deck listing videos a lot. He really is doing a deep dive with just this one card. It's incredible.
Oh, some of those decks are a stretch. I tried not to go for the obvious options for most of them, but
Yeah.
no, I think that this card has a lot of really cool applications.
Yeah, dude,
and
you convinced me. As soon as you
it's just
said
cool.
you can use it to fuel a potential free like Fire Axe or Dark Horse, it's like, dude, that's sick. Let's go.
If there's a card that's like, hey, you have to lose resources if you fail this test, yeah, you just dump your high roller. Like, who cares?
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna lose them anyway.
Heck yeah. Yeah, maybe you can double your money before you have to lose 3, and then you're just exactly where you were, but you just, yeah.
It's also a condition of succeeding, so something like double or nothing, if you still play with that card, will give you twice as many resources when you get it back.
Sick. Super
It's just
sick.
all around a really, really interesting card, I think.
Hell yeah. All right. Let's go to our number 3s. Bryn, what's yours?
Got the Rabbit's Foot level 3. This was originally going to be the Lucky Cigarette Case level 3, and then I realized every card on my list was green.
Got a little self-conscious about that.
Yeah, and I was just like, man, this card also fills a very similar design space for a very similar archetype. And alternatively, an archetype I can play with. So this one, the difference, so this one's like, when you fail, you search the top X cards of your deck for a card and draw it, shuffling the remaining cards into your deck. X is the amount you failed by. So you can just like pick a stupid test and punt your thing into it and and the game's like, oh, you failed. And you're like, yeah, but I failed by 4.
And it's like, oh no, you've turned my trick against me.
Oh no. Yeah, in like most competitive card games, that is an insane effect. But also, this card just lets you do it every turn, like for the rest of the game, forever.
Yeah, no.
No, the game's like throwing an asset. You're like,
Yeah.
okay.
No, it's like it's a card that helps mitigate, or like I'm hoping that one day the fail by X red archetype will be like kind of semi-real, as opposed to right now being like, do you want to play Oops in your deck?
Yeah.
Because the answer to that is no. But this is a card that I think like it really greases it makes that deck work.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that deck you're like trying to fail, but not by too much. And if you fail by too much, whatever, the Rabbit's Foot will just let you dig deeper. It's fine. I like this one.
Yeah. My number 3 is Well Prepared. This is like a very fun kind of... it gets the wheels turning in my head about looking now at my assets for what do they contribute in terms of their skill icons. And then there's obvious stuff like Armor of Ardennis, which gives you guts and overpowers, right? But I just think this card is really like sweet and elegant with its design while also being like completely fair and fun to build around. We talk about Shaving Man a lot, and just Shaving Man, I love this card from like top to bottom. It's a winner. Travis, what's your number 3?
This Diana Esperance. There's lots of things to like about this card, in my opinion. First of all, she's a mystic asset. She's a witch, so like that's a very mysticy thing. She's one of the few mystic assets that can soak health good. And like, strangely enough, every time I see this card, I think that she takes damage to use her ability, but no, it's the secrets are. And there's like this is more of a flavor, I guess, win for me than like a particularly mechanical one. But start off, she uses secrets. Secrets represent the spells that she knows, and you can like if you're playing the right cards, you can teach her more secrets. You can teach her more spells to cast. You can have her tell her to cast different spells, which she can only cast one at a time. She casts spells for you. It's like having like an extra player almost. Her subtitle is deals with devils in quotation marks because she thinks she's making deals with devils, and other people do, but she's not. She's making deals with old ones.
Yep.
Just like a lot of really cool things in this card. Lots of really fun. You can stick a level 5 Deny Existence as the dream on this and just laugh at the game. games do something. You're like,
my
no,
god.
no, I don't think I will. Take much damage. No, I'll heal it. Take a bunch of sanity. No, I'll heal it. Discard some cards. No, I'll just draw some cards instead. Don't mind me.
And then Cthulhu's like, why can't I kill him?
Yeah, she's actually just kind of like an extra player. She can sit there. Can make your deck very flexible with a small amount of cards, and allows for sort of a very toolboxy gameplay where you can play things like use Arcane Initiate and Word of Command to pull out the spells you need, and then like play singleton copies of things like Read the Signs or Spectral Razor, and just slap them on Diana Esperance and let her hold them while you use them, because even if you have one copy, all of a sudden you can use it 2 or 3 times before you have to get rid of it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that she's a really cool card, fun to build around. Just,
yeah, definitely.
I like it.
Sweet.
I can't believe that she doesn't take damage to cast the spells.
I know, right?
No, it's all up here. She doesn't need to do any blood rights anymore. Bryn, what's your number 2? A green card.
Swift Reload, a green card. Yeah, this is like you're trying to play a firearms deck and you're looking at your stupid extra ammunition and it falls off a cliff fighting a Balrog or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You're like, how am I going to win the game with that extra ammunition? And Swift Reload shows up and he's like, I'm extra ammunition as he should have been.
And it's fast.
It's fast.
It's like one of those things with how I know, because I've played tested some of my own games with Travis, and he's kind of taught me to look like the way his brain works. If there's a mechanic that, like, for example, is something that doesn't cost an action, and if your thing is called Swift Reload and it costs an action, it feels wrong. So Swift Reload being fast, it just feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you read it, and your brain expects it to be fast, and then it is, and your brain's like, yes.
Yeah.
You've done it.
It's not it's not a particularly elegant design or anything, but it is something that I didn't know that I wanted in the game until it existed.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
And now it's really hard to play with extra ammunition.
Oh,
really hard.
That's the true tragedy.
It's easy when you don't play green cards.
I suppose.
My number 2 is Delve Too Deep. I want more cards that hurt you in the game to give you more experience. I don't care if the designers are worried that there's too much experience. I'll just make the game harder in that case. I want more cards. I also like the flavor of Delve Too Deep because you really are delving too deep, and it's kind of like a learning process. Like, there's a story that exists within Delve Too Deep. Like our first time when we delved too deep on like the second turn of the game, and then we were like, dude, we delved way too deep. And now the next time we're like, we'll wait a little bit, we'll wait till like turn 5, and we're like, that was still a bit too deep. And now we're like pros at like exploring this horrific eldritch knowledge, and we wait until the last minute to delve too deep, and then when the Chthonian shows up, we're like, see ya, and resign. Like, I just love it's such a good, fun card. Sorry, Travis?
Said no consequences.
Exactly, right? I do feel like there needs to be if they do more cards like this, there needs to be like I mean, in and itself, the consequence is also greed. We've had many times where we actually never got even resolve or delve too deeps because we were too greedy to wait to the end. It makes a little sub game within the game, which is really fun to me.
It also has some great griefing potential.
Yeah, it does indeed. Travis, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is the Hungering Blade, the Calamitous Blade of Celephase. This card is like, for its titles and its subtypes, is exactly as over the top as you'd expect from the Dreamlands. It's an item, weapon, melee, relic, and curse. Like, my god. It's also just a really, really cool weapon, I think. You can only play one for deck, which makes it a little bit hard to build around, but it only costs 1 experience, so it's not too difficult to get into your deck. And then you fight, you get +1 punch for this attack for each attack copy of Bloodlust, and the attack deals +1 damage. And if the attack defeats an enemy, you place 1 resource on this card as an offering. Bloodlust is a weakness that you shuffle 3 copies of into your deck when you play the Hungering Blade. And when you draw Bloodlust, I believe you have to spend 2 offerings off your Hungering Blade, and if you do, you attach it. Otherwise, you take a damage or something.
You take a horror. I think you take a horror and shuffle it back into your deck.
That would make more sense. But yeah, so you never know when they're coming, so you gotta get blades. You gotta start killing people to sate the blade's hunger. But and then the more you feed it, then the stronger it gets. Oh yeah, you can also detach the Bloodlust for extra damage.
Yeah.
So it's always hungry. It's a really cool card design, and there's a nice balance to be made where in the gameplay of it, where for the first little while you're I gotta kill enemies and build up offerings, and after that you're hey, give me the Bloodlusts, and then as you get more Bloodlusts, and you spend having more Bloodlusts makes it easier to produce more offerings to pay for more Bloodlusts. I had a great time the one time that I played this card and built around it very heavily, but it's a cool card.
I think it also it scratches that itch for me too, where it's the strong card, the bonded cards act as weaknesses, but you can play around them and have fun with them. I think it's a lot more exciting than just here is unexpected courage times 2 every turn. It's a bit more exciting and better design space. IMO.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to our number ones. Bryn, what is your number 1?
Got the Crystallizer of Dreams.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. This one does also fall into the category of you have to put a weakness into your deck in order to play it. It is the same type of bonded card, which are kind of the cool ones. I do also like the ones that they start out weak and they charge up, which is actually both in the Hungering Blade, I suppose. But this one, anytime that there's a card that makes me look at it and be all right, what kind of cards would I not normally ever want to play with, but I want them in my deck now? That's something. That's the part of card games that I particularly enjoy. So this one, we get to attach our events to it, and then we get to recommit them. So there's all kinds of stupid events that don't do very much, but they commit for sweet icons.
I mean,
so we can get both.
Yeah, with Crystallizer of Dreams, it had since it came out, it has opened up a whole new archetype that is now your favorite archetype. And
it's sick.
Every time you're now this would work with the Crystallizer, and you're and we're yes, Bryn, it would. And you're yes, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Foundation.
Yeah. Every time that they put out new events, I'm what kind of icons does it got?
Yeah. I've noticed that with the order of operations for Bryn. Before Crystallizer Dreams was did you know that this skill is innate? Stuff like that.
Yeah. This card's an insight.
Blood Pact is my number 1 card. I love Blood Pact. I've loved it since it came out. I have fond memories of getting overwhelmed and losing in my solo Jim Culver Blood Pact series that I never ended up actually finishing recording for the channel. But I just love the flavor of placing Doom on a card that does not leave play to get incredible strength out of it. There's a lot of play you can do as a player to determine when you're going to use your Blood Pact. There's also a few things like Moonlit Ritual that can help you get rid of some things. I do think there needs to be a bit more support for this card to actually become completely valid to you can just really build around it, but oh boy, I just love the flavor and design of Blood Pact. Because all the other ones of these permanents are so simple and dare I say, I'd say the majority of them, boring. The other one I think that's actually cool is I think it's the blue one that allows your skills to stay for the entire turn but it costs a lot of resources. That's a bit more.
I played that one recently playing with my family. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I can believe that. And then it's more exciting than just pay a resource if you have 5 cards in hand or 6 cards in hands to just be OP, right? There's a story contained within Blood Pact that's really cool. Travis, what is your number 1?
My number 1 is the Black Cat. So what I like so much about the design of this card is not necessarily what's printed on it in a vacuum. It's like a cool, well-designed card in a vacuum where it makes the tokens easier, and then if you get the star, you can heal them, and it's like an infinite soak engine, sort of. What I really like about this card is how it ties in to the Dreamlands narrative. So this is going to be minor to major spoilers depending on how far you've played, I guess. But so if you don't want to be spoiled on the Dream Eaters, don't
Spoiler
listen.
warning. Spoiler warning.
Yeah. So Black Cat is a liar or a prophet or both, and like he's also an avatar of what is never really explained. There's a lot of things in the Dream Eaters campaign that are left up to your imagination. Like, is the Black Cat an avatar of Nyarlathotep, or is he just like a cool little black cat who's helping you out because you're a cool guy? You know. In the later scenarios of that campaign, depending on what choices you've made, the Black Cat, maybe they're helping you. And in those ones, the Black Cat affects the Tombstone and the Squid tokens, respectively. And I believe each campaign only uses one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And this just makes it so, like, keeping in mind that drawing those tokens means that the cat is helping you. The Black Cat, he's your friend now. He's helping you all the time. You know? And he's not just a character in the story anymore. He likes you enough that he's committed to being your ally, where he's willing to like be hurt for you. Whereas in the story, he's kind of a dick, if we're being honest. Like he's like, hey, do you want to know stuff about the other side? And then you're like, not really. He's like, fine, I'll go help your friends then. You're like, okay. See you never, I guess. No, it's a really cool, well-designed card, I think. I love how it ties into the Dream Eater story. And it's neutral. Anyone can play it. It's just...
Someone in our Jim Culver video that commented that the Black Cat is great with Jim because, like, now all the bad chits are nothing for you, which seems actually pretty sick.
It does.
It does.
It's like... It's hard to find room with your ally slot for him, and it's hard to find room in your deck because he's 5 experience, which it absolutely deserves. But it's a really cool design that kind of breaks away from a lot of what other allies do.
Yeah, definitely.
And there aren't many cards in the game that just like change the rules of the game.
Yeah, for sure. I always love seeing the neutral 5-cost allies because, like, along with it and Red Glove Mand, it's like that's a cool design. Like, that's sweet.
It is.
Yeah. All right, well, those are our top 5 player card designs. What are your guys' in the comments? Some of your favorite designs. In addition, if you have any ideas for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.